normal Excel spreadsheet. It has columns, label columns with all the values and things like that. So pretty much a standard spreadsheet. And then so that's the ingestion or like the setup phase where you're originally setting up your RAG. And next, the query is kind of like the actual actionable stuff that you would be doing. So the user, you would ask the interface or whatever it is, a question. And it will go through the chat model, which then pulls directly from vector DB. So it does not go back to the original data at all. After the ingestion, it does not reference the original data. It doesn't have to parse through it all over again, as you saw with my dad's examples with Claude AI. It's literally writing a Python script every time you prompt it something. So there's none of that. It takes directly from the vector DB, and then it gives you your answer. So what you saw with Notebook LM is Notebook LM is a RAG. So I'm gonna actually pull up the slide real quick so you guys can see. So on the left here you have all the files that you've uploaded, and so these have already been chunked and run through the embedding model to be able to store it in a database that's like kind of in the background. You can see it here. And over at the chat, you have like the prompts, you have the questions that you're asking it, and you can see the little numbers like at the end of every bullet point. That is like a reference back to which document it's referring to. And if you hover over it, you can actually see like a little a little citation. So LM is a RAG that it doesn't really do a lot of external research. It pulls directly from the files, and so that is essentially what RAG is doing. So yeah, I think that is pretty much all that I wanted to talk about. It's pretty short and sweet.